And oldness continues. I just want to point out, we're getting way more done by distracting ourselves with stupid stories than we do normally when we're trying to come up with witty banter.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Anyway, so
good times.
But yeah, no, like I said, like I was saying in the last episode, I didn't really do own a lot of movies, but I watched a ton of stuff. I liked watching movies and whatnot, and I didn't mind, and this might be because of my age thing. People are so impatient now. Every once in a while, like channels like Fox and stuff like that on Saturdays would play, like the movie Real Genius or Young Guns or something like that. And even though there was commercials, I really didn't mind. Even though it was heavily, edited for time and, stuff like that. I didn't mind watching that stuff. I really, of course, now I'm at the point where I watch the last half of movies. There's some movies that I've seen like the beginning of like once, and I've seen the end of like 1,000 times.
Right.
So.
Right.
But
yeah, there are a few. I try to finish a movie when I watch it, just because.
Yeah.
Because I feel that's how I feel. But there are quite a few movies that I've just, especially lately, that I've been watching. I kind of get into, and then I lay down on the couch, and I'm like, this is gonna be, and I'm out like a light.
Well, no, I'm the opposite. I'm a flipping through TV and be like, oh, this movie's on, and turn it on and watch it from wherever it's at. I've seen it. Watch it from wherever it's at till the end. Now, I do stuff that, like, I know that Heather finds kind of weird, because one big thing that I got into, because I was very much a kid of TV. I grew up not only as a little kid watching, like the cartoons and stuff, but even like when I was a teenager, I was home. I just loved sitting in front of the TV and watching, like Cheers and Night Court and, a bunch of those like 80s TV shows into the 90s TV shows and whatnot.
Right.
And I remember probably, I want to say around 96, 97, 98, somewhere in that window, because it was right around the time Pink Cacti was born. I got a DVR from the cable company. So this was post TiVo coming out. Mm-hmm. But it was actually through Cox Cable, and who are the providers here. And even now, where you have so many people that are what are you working on, by the way?
I just made a core sample drill.
Okay, cool. Even though it has kind of got to the point, and I know that you're a big believer in this, where kind of the days of cable for a lot of people are over. I still love it. I still love every stinking inch of it.
It's not that I'm not a fan of cable. I do like cable. I just liked it better, last decade.
When your dad was paid for it.
Well, not only that. I will admit, that's okay. Part of it. Part of it was, I preferred not paying for my own cable.
Yeah.
Because I tried cable for a bit on my own, and that is prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
But really, it's more that it's like the shows that are out there that are offered that I like to watch are not available in my area or in my price range.
Or they
just aren't available anymore. Like, for example, History Channel.
Okay.
I remember way back when I was a little boy, when History Channel actually had history shows on it.
Okay.
And I liked the history shows. I liked watching the Civil War documentaries and learning about the theoretical history of mankind and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't like watching shows about Pawn Stars.
But why, Snoop?
Because it's trash TV.
but Snoop.
There's already a channel for all that called True TV, which is anything but true.
True TV has become the Impractical Jokers Network. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I figure that's the case now. Oh, look, Copper Vein right here. Nice.
I love that show, by the way.
Impractical Jokers, it's good. I just can't get into it.
I love it. Anyways.
But
that's neither here nor there, so.
Yeah. I enjoy the Discovery Channel.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I prefer watching the Discovery Channel.
Nerd. We talked about this.
Yeah. I prefer watching the Discovery Channel when it had, scientific stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like talking about, molecular biology and the crazy stuff the crazy creatures and stuff that are found in the real life world.
But Mike Rowe.
I liked Dirty Jobs because he goes into detail about the whole thing. He goes to more than just, this is a really disgusting dirty job that someone has to do.
Yeah.
He goes into and talks about it and also shows how it's done and goes into like how it came to be, all the history of it, that sort of thing. He went into more detail, and I'm okay with that. I like that. But there are other shows on Discovery Channel that should not be on Discovery Channel.
Okay.
It's been so long I can't recall one right now.
Well, yeah, and this is where I really think old guy us is gonna kick in.
I just like my Discovery Channel like I like my Discovery Channel.
I will say this.
Oh wow, it's an oil sample right here. Nice.
I will. Can you do it inside the ship? You should see if we have any because it's in the chunk. So you could put the drill thing in the ship.
Oh my god, let's try that.
Take out the farm. We don't need the farm anymore. Put it back there.
Okay, I'm gonna. Okay,
just like real life, I'm really trying to avoid going outside. So.
Okay, let's put this right. Right here in the farm.
All right. So what am I missing? It's in the middle here.
But like here's another good example for you.
Well, okay, all right, yeah. Let me give mine.
Old person us because Tiki out, and then I like it way back when, more because of nostalgia classes than really anything else. But
yeah. But I will say this. Sorry. Yeah, nice.
Put an oil derrick right in the farm.
But do it.
Man, that's not political commentary. I don't know what is.
But I will say I was never into old movies. So like AMC was kind of dumb to me. Okay. I need to watch them. So yeah, I could really care less about like AMC and stuff like that, Turner Broadcasting Network and stuff. But I like The Walking Dead, so that works out, on AMC, on American Movie Classics. And that's the funny part. Now, here's where we can have the old guy rant. I'm old enough to remember when I was young, when MTV played music videos.
I remember that too.
Okay.
One of the first music videos I saw on MTV was Money for Nothing.
Yep.
The old CG style, the boxy CG.
Yeah, the Dire Straits song.
Yeah.
Yep.
Money for nothing and chicks for free.
I remember seeing Video Killed the Radio Star, which was actually, now I'm not saying when it first premiered, but that was actually the very first music video that was ever on MTV, which I love the irony of it being, Video Killed the Radio still was the first music video ever played on MTV. Now, a lot of people may not know this, especially the younger people. VH1 was also a music video channel.
Yeah, it was Video Hits 1 or something like that?
Yeah, that's what it stands for. So there's a lot of these channels that people just know the names of, but they don't know, what they're...
Because, they're reality shows and all that stuff. It's all reality shows
and
nowadays.
It's all the same thing. Well, because they're cheap and they bring in people, so...
They're cheap. They're, easy to make. They don't take any talent.
No.
So let's be honest. If you're on a reality show, you have no talent.
Well, the biggest thing is they take no script.
Yes,
so the real way that they save their money is the fact that they don't have to pay writers. Your director is closer to like a cinematographer than a director. He's more of a All right, camera 4, all right, camera 3. In those shows, probably the biggest job is the editor.
Yes.
Because the editor is the one that
puts
really,
the whole thing together.
Well, but really ties it together to really make the drama, But anyway, so, but yeah, VH1 was more contemporary music, i.e. parent music. So it was almost like it was like the stuff that was cool in the early 80s. Video-wise is what you saw stuff like that on VH1 in the like late 80s, early 90s. Because, MTV became like, boy bands and stuff like that. So,
I can't stand boy bands.
yeah, so it was music television, Video Hits 1, AMC is American Movie Classics, NBC is National Broadcasting Company,
CNN
ABC,
is the corporate news network.
Cable News Network.
Sorry, as my dad calls it, the Communist News Network.
Of course, yeah. His Snoop and his dad are very different people.
Very different.
And True TV used to be Court TV. Now, Court TV was huge because in the 90s, and this was like a big early thing for reality shows. In the 90s, you had what really kicked it off was the O.J. Simpson thing. Well, O.J. Simpson.
Oh yeah, the O.J. Simpson trial.
That's right. O.J. Simpson, the Menendez brothers, all of those were very much what made Court TV necessary. So for any of you guys that were either too young or weren't even born yet, I'm sure you heard about the O.J. Simpson trial. That whole trial took it was a long. I don't think it was quite a year, but it was pretty damn close. And I'm not joking. They allowed cameras into the. Do we have oil in the ship? Nice.
Yeah, look, see.
Nice.
7.5 million buckets of it.
And honestly, that's what it was. Either they were showing the stuff live, they were showing it like recaps, or people were talking about it. So a channel literally it was the O.J. Simpson murder trial network for like a year. It was crazy. And then, of course, once it ended, everybody was like,
well, now what do we do?
What do we do now? We've already bought all the furniture. Damn it. Do I want to try and...
Let's start showing some other salacious stuff.
Well, and like I said, there was the Menendez brothers, and I know there was a couple others that were highly televised for that. So,
right.
All right, how bad is this one going to be? I got that stuff.
Yeah, and I know that the advent of reality TV really started with at least reality TV as we know it. The big contributor, from what I've heard, is Cops. Because Cops was huge.
Yeah,
there was always Cops going on.
Yeah, it was Cops. You had things like when I grew up that I guess you could technically say were the grandparents to reality TV, kind of. They had a lot of shows called Real People or Amazing People or Look at These Crazy People, And but Cops got into it, and then how many of these gonna need? We're gonna need 2, 4, 6, 8, and 16 of these. Holy crap. Anyways, so yeah, Cops was a big one. Honestly, the big one that really kicked off reality show as we know it was Real World. The first season of Real World.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big deal. Okay, so you're already making iron plates. Nice. I'm sure most people have heard of Real World, and they made Road Rules, which was just Real World on the freeway or whatever. But Real World, when it started out, and actually a lot of people, I don't know if they've had a Real World in a long time, but basically it was a reality show, and I would put it closer to kind of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It wasn't a competition show, so it wasn't like Survivor, it wasn't like, Big Brother or any of those ones. It was literally they took different people, tried to get people that were completely different from each other socially,
different
economically.
Walks of life.
They in essence wanted to get people that were going to fight. That's what they wanted, right?
People that would have conflict with each other.
Exactly. So they So yeah,
totally not skeezy thing to do.
Yeah. And the biggest thing that happened was in season 1, there was a guy named Pedro. Okay. And Pedro, now you got to keep in mind, this was early 90s. Pedro had AIDS. And that was... And I know people nowadays, like, you really don't hear people talking about it. I don't necessarily think it's cured, but I don't think it's necessarily the crazy death sentence it used to be.
It's it's still being worked on, but I think it's considered a manageable.
I know. Like Magic Johnson had it, and he has it, and he's had it for a long time. Like he got it like 15 years ago, and is still going fine. But in basically in the early to mid 80s, if you got AIDS, you died. There was no cure. They actually they called it cancer for a long time, because what they didn't realize was the immune system was being broken down, and then things like cancer, where a lot of people didn't die from AIDS.
They died from things that AIDS took advantage of.
Well, they died from a cold because they had no immune system. They died from the flu. They died from whatever. Cancer, there wasn't as much white blood cells to fight off cancerous blood cells, so, that kind of stuff. So, anyways, but one guy on there, and that's really, and to be honest with you, most of the time, people don't remember a lot of the other people that were on that show, but they remember Pedro, and he actually passed away after the show was over, but he had to kind of come out to his roommates after they were already in there, and that was a big deal, because... And it really educated a lot of people. It educated a lot of young people.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
it's a condition that's out there.
Yeah.
That and the ramifications of the social stigma of, oh, dude, you have AIDS.
Yeah. Well, and it also really pushed the whole, okay, you can't get it from a toilet seat. You can't get it from high-fiving. You can't get it because
it can't be transferred aside from
sexually transmitted. Yeah. You can't
bodily fluid swap.
I don't even think you can get it from kissing. As far as I know, you can't get it from kissing. So, but that's basically the concept.
Insert disclaimer here: we are not medical professionals.
No. Really, we have to tell them that. But anyways, that was the big thing about the show was the fact that he basically had to come out to people he lived with, and there were a couple people in there that were still at the time very scared of it, understandably, right? At this point, hundreds of thousands of people.
Unknowing, it's an unknown thing, or it's still largely unknown, and terrified of it, Yeah.
So, but that was really kind of the godfather to the whole thing, was the real world, at least in a lot of the shows we have now. And then, of course, they came out with like. Survivor is technically on like season 35, but they have 2 seasons a year. So,
hey, Modi, we're mining ship oil.
Are we? Holy ship. So this is the one big non-realistic thing about this guy, is it just has to be in the chunk. So yeah, apparently there's black gold in them there laboratory blocks. Is that why you build your bases out of these?
Naturally.
On to you.
An oil magnet.
On to you. But, yeah, so like I said, I mean, I don't know. The reason I was kind of bringing this up was the fact is that we do have, even though we're friends now, and we're into a lot of the same stuff now, there was pretty much a generational gap. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't look back at the 90s as a whole as super positive. And I'm not getting dark like, oh, my high school was hard and I was very moody. No. Like, I think the music in the 80s was better than the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the movies...
I will agree with you on that.
I think a lot of the movies in the... Yeah, but we're even between that, we're talking about different things. Because you like classic rock... And I'm talking like even the weird like Culture Club, like Depeche Mode. It's not stuff I listen to, but it's stuff that like when I hear like a Cure song come on, I'll be like, oh, that's adorable. Such easier times. I'm not going to go pay to see like Robert Smith scream when he's 60 or anything like that. So, but which by the way, I for a while my kid's doctor when they were little was an old guy named Robert Smith, and I would always try and make Cure references to him, and he had no clue what I was talking about, and that made it actually more fun. So. You know,
can we all just agree that Nickelback is awful? I just want to put that out there.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I could pick. Oh, damn it! My draw now. I don't think I could pick out a Nickelback song from a lineup.
All I know is the meme. Look at this graph, and then that's all I recall.
I'll be dead honest with you. For the most part, I have disliked radio music probably since the beginning of the 90s. When I got into the 90s, and I'll admit this, and I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to this. When I got into the 90s is when I kind of got into like college rock. I mean, I was in high school, but like college rock, alternative, grunge, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, I was a fan of like, you know, Nirvana long before they got famous and stuff like that. But, you know, like old REM, like Orange Crush and stuff like that. It's the end of the world as we know it. Great stuff like that. Weird,
I like that.
Weird bands like Lush and Blur back in the day, the Violent Femmes, all of that stuff I liked. And then, you know, later that kind of led into getting like punk rock stuff. But yeah, just weird stuff. Like, oh, go to track 9. It's a guy just smacking his left butt cheek against a tin can for 45 minutes. You got to hear it. There's a breakdown that'll blow your mind. I'm not that pretentious, but yeah, I liked a lot of stuff. Like I said, like the Violent Femmes, the Pixies. The Pixies are great. Offshoots of that, the Breeders and stuff like that. So a lot of like, you know, multi-syllable, one-named bands. But so yeah, so the stuff that I liked in the 90s wasn't played on the radio. It was, you know, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears, and I could care less about a lot of stuff. And even like a lot of the kind of metal-y bands, I every morning I wake up, I sit up in bed, and the first thing I think to myself is, somebody once told me the world is gonna... Oh, sorry. Okay, that's not what I think, but I'm not going to tell you what I think because it's not going to be better than what you just did. What time is it? Thanks for watching, guys. No, there's nothing else to say. Shut up. The video's over. God damn it. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up, questions, comments, because it's over. Stop laughing. Put it down in the comments section. Whoever's video you're watching, make sure you check out both our videos. I want you to finish the rest of my stories from now on, no matter what the story is. Anyways, if you guys want to come hang out with myself and Snoop and the rest of the squad, chit-chat in our Discord, hang out in our 3 squad servers, have a fun, safe place to hang out while helping support us, go check out our Patreon down below. And if you want to get your very own server, just like the ones the squad uses for all of our Minecraft needs or a slew of other games, go check out Host Havoc. Even if you're just going to browse to see what they offer and what their prices are, make sure you use our link. That way they know you're coming from one of our videos. And until the next episode, I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
God damn it.